I probably started wearing hijab when I was about 12, so it's been about 12 years now nearly.
I decided to wear the hijab when I turned 16. Not when I turned 16, I was 16 and it was the summer before school. It started back and it was just going into 6th year, and I just thought about it a lot, and I thought, you know, it's time for me to get it on and go for it.
Because I was quite young, I was probably influenced quite a bit by my sisters. They all wore a hijab, and because I always saw my mum and she wore it, and she's such a strong woman, and I just thought, like, I kind of aspired to be like that.
I just kind of went through this kind of like spiritual time, and I was really reflecting upon myself, and I thought, you know, I'm a Muslim and I'm a woman, you know, what is a Muslim woman supposed to do? Like, what are the things? So I read a lot, I researched a lot, and I thought, you know, it's time to actually take the next step. My dad never ever said to me, you know, you have to wear a hijab, because my mum doesn't wear one, but I chose to wear one when I came to the age where I was very comfortable with my religion, and I thought, you know, I'm actually quite comfortable and confident to wear it, so then I decided to.
Islam basically says about women wearing hijab is there's a kind of a verse in the Quran that kind of states to women that they should dress modestly and they should cover their heads and they should cover their chest.
In Islam, you know, covering your hair is it's all about modesty, and because we believe that, you know, your hair is your beauty and it should only be preserved for your husband, in that sense, to look at you and be like, you're beautiful. So that's the kind of like thinking behind that.
My name is Nicole. I'm an anthropologist teaching in a department of sociology. My kind of research interest revolves around religion. Attitudes towards Muslims in Britain has changed since I started my research, because I started my research before the London bombings. Before when I started my research, Muslims were just Muslims, and now there's kind of Muslims might potentially be terrorists. Although everybody I know are nice, devoted Muslims, there still is a kind of fear. I think there's fear because they don't know Muslims and they don't know much about Islam.
I do think that there's a big misconception about how Muslim women are shy and quiet. I mean, because I'm really not. I'm a complete opposite of what a lot of people think.
I'm like the loudest, gobbiest person ever. I will stand up for myself. I have opinions. I'm not afraid to say my opinions.
Socially in school, like I noticed like some people were a bit like, oh, that's weird, like, oh, because she started wearing a hijab, you know, that's a bit different, or they didn't maybe know how to act around me, or at the start, like at the beginning, when I like just arrived at school one day after all the summer holidays and just turned up with a hijab on, everyone's looking at me like, all right.
I've done research on religion in education, and I mean the students certainly want to know more. I think the problem is the curriculum and the examination system. At the moment, the examination system just seems to want students to know a tick list of things. I think it would be really good for schools to actually go out to different faith communities, do field trips. So I think schools could do more, and I think actually faith communities could do more to reach out towards schools.
Well, I go to university, so I've got quite a few non-Muslim friends, but I do find that sometimes people won't come and speak to you. You need to make that first step. And I think people, just because maybe they think you might not have much in common, whereas a lot of my non-Muslim friends, I have loads in common with them.
I had good friends that were non-Muslim, and we used to just have a great laugh and, you know, socialising all the time and stuff. So when they thought it was okay to ask, they were like, is it okay to ask you, like, why did you start wearing the hijab? Because like, we don't really know, and I don't really know this, that. So, you know, I used to be quite open to obviously answering questions, because yeah, it's like a different thing to like randomly just wear a scarf on your head. So yeah, they were quite interested and stuff, and so I think that kind of helped me though, because I felt like, oh, that's something cool that I'm doing as well. It's not just like a religious thing and I've turned all holy all of a sudden. I don't expect anyone to know loads of things about Islam or a Muslim or the life of a Muslim, because if you're not in it yourself, things in the media when there's shows like this, there's been a number of shows that came during Ramadan last year and so many different things, and obviously when you watch it then you're like, oh, that alright, this is what Muslims do. Or there was shows about, you know, young Jewish people and watching like about bar mitzvahs and learning about things, because that's the only way you learn, because I don't actually have any Jewish friends and I never really have, so I've never really learned about them in that sense. So I think, yeah, the media has a big influence on when reaching out to people, and because obviously that is what media does, isn't it? And they educate people on things, and I think that's a positive thing.
The media plays a massive role, because the media is, people aren't going to the mosques, people aren't reading the Quran or the Hadith, And so people's views about Islam or other religions is shaped through what they're given on the media. And unfortunately, the media doesn't like portraying nice things. It wants to portray sensational things.
Just show Muslim women or girls who wear hijab in a good light. All these girls go to university, get good jobs, educate themselves, pay their taxes, are just like everybody else, but just happen to wear a hijab.
People are probably quite interested in the positive. It's just that the media wants to sensationalise things.
I think in Scotland, I think a lot more girls will wear it. In the media, obviously, Islam's a big thing right now. It's always like, what are Muslims getting up to and all that kind of thing. And I think in the UK, or when you're a Muslim and you're living outside Muslim countries, then you're obviously representing your religion. So I think a lot of people like find it like an identity thing. They're like, you know, I'm Muslim. This is what a Muslim woman dresses like. So I will dress like a Muslim woman. And a lot more people have started wearing it, and it's became a lot more common.
I think that there's a lot of misunderstanding of the hijab amongst the wider public. Quite a number of people think that women are forced to wear hijab, and certainly in a place like Scotland, most of the Muslims I know are not forced to wear hijab. They wear it as a statement of identity. They wear it to say, I am a Muslim woman and I'm proud. You know, if a nun has her hair covered, no one walks up to her and says, why is your hair covered? It's just accepted that that's a part of her Catholic faith. And so I don't understand why women who wear hijab are not treated in the same way.